So this is Michelle, and today in our lesson we're going to be working on topspin volleys. Now Michelle doesn't come from any kind of racket sports background. She's been playing pickleball for a couple of years. She's an incredible athlete, super quick round the court, she's got great reaction times. But where she does struggle, because she doesn't have that prior experience, is obviously with the biomechanics of the correct swing shapes. So today we're using the TopspinPro to teach that swing shape and get her feeling what it actually feels like to hit topspin on the ball, and get that muscle memory ingrained. So we actually began the lesson by warming up, and then we moved on to the TopspinPro and talked through that correct swing shape. Our main emphasis for the lesson was getting the contact point out in front and finishing up over the shoulder, which is that kind of element of the swing that really helps add topspin to the ball. Also, she was having a tendency to hit down fairly flat, and a lot of balls were going in the net or too short. So our emphasis was really pointing the elbow where she wanted the ball to go and finishing with a nice relaxed swing over the opposite shoulder. So once we'd spent about 5 to 10 minutes working on the TopspinPro, we moved to some feeds. So you can see here I'm feeding in some nice steady kind of medium to low height balls. So she's really working on rolling that ball back in and getting a consistent follow through. We actually worked on holding or freezing at the shoulder for a split second, so she knows that she's finishing up high and lifting up the back of the ball. Once she got comfortable with that, we moved on to some live feed. So basically I rally fed the ball back to her. This just put her under a little bit more pressure because obviously the ball's coming in faster. She's got less time to react and recover back into her ready position. Now this is usually where technique starts to break down for most players. When you've been working on a specific skill and then you're suddenly adding in that extra pressure, the technique starts to get a little bit sloppy. So at this point we just reinforced the skills and really just focused on bringing that elbow through, pausing at the shoulder again and staying nice and relaxed at the end of the swing. Once you got comfortable with that, we added in a zone section towards the back of the court. So we're really focusing on lifting the low and mid-height balls nice and deep towards the back of the court. Once we'd done this drill in a straight line, we switched to cross court in both directions. Now cross court is a further distance than a straight line, so obviously requires a little bit more depth, also a little bit more pace to carry the ball to the back. So it's really important that when you are practicing a skill like this, that you do practice all directions. So the most important thing to remember as you move through your progressions, either on your own or with a coach or as a coach, is that you increase the difficulty as you move through the lesson. So ideally you want to start with a static ball or some kind of situation where the player is not under pressure, and a still ball really helps first of all get the correct spacing and contact point, but also gives the visual feedback to the player so that they can tell how much spin they've put on the ball and they can really feel whether they're getting that technique correct. Then once you've had them get comfortable with that still ball, you then want to move on to an easy kind of feed, so either a drop feed or a really gentle forward feed so that they can then grasp an incoming ball. If you go straight from a static device to a game situation or a rally situation, the technique's going to completely break down and they'll struggle. So it wants to be static ball, easy feed, then progress through with more difficult feeds to more of a live ball situation where you're rallying the ball back. And then last of all, you can start to move it into practice points. And then when you feel comfortable that you're maintaining the correct technique through the practice points, you can then try in a real situation, either a match or a tournament or what have you, any kind of situation where you would normally be feeling that pressure.